Mama kamsema, time to, start life again, and she left me. And
how old were you when mom left?
4 months old.
Oh, just that 4?
Yeah. Grandma went to everybody I could ever remember in that village trying to source for funds. And nobody in my family even talks the way my father was buried. They had to make, when you cut the mbao in Ushago, there's the leftovers that, from the outside of the tree. That's what they made the coffin. It was actually made at home. And my father was buried so hurriedly because it was not planned. Nobody knew that they were going to agree to give the body. So for father, it was easy. I can prove I don't have a father. We have evidence that, he's dead.
Yeah.
But now the mother becomes the tricky part because they're like, we can't kill your mother. We can't say she's dead. Because if we say she's dead, we need a death certificate or something that proves she's dead. For if we say she's alive, we have to prove by having a copy of her ID. Now that's where the problem comes in. Nobody has an ID from my mother. So they went looking for her. Believe it or not, all those years, my mother lived 20 shillings away from me. 20 shillings away from me. It broke me. On 17th of March, I wake up, as usual. Open. First email rejection from Rochester University, which was that time my dream school. The school I knew I was going to. Then the second email opportunity starts with congratulations. You have received a MasterCard scholarship to study in Michigan State University for 4 years. Literally scream.
A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Now, if you've been following, we are having a very beautiful series dubbed Rebuilding. And to be honest, I think I started this series for myself because I always feel like there are instances in life where you have to keep building and, just rebuilding, and you should never tire. So I hope even in your life you are asking, what is it that I can do to help rebuild my life? Because, sometimes we assume life is a destination and we never actually arrive. You are constantly on a journey, and that's why I'm happy to have my guest here. When I bumped into his story, I actually thought it was just about promoting the book, but when our producer and host Gala dug deeper, we found out that he has gone through quite the life. And since we are talking about rebuilding and something must have been broken for you to be able to put the pieces back together, what amazed me is that there are so many bad things that he could concentrate on, but he chooses, to just continue fighting. I was talking to him and I was like, I honestly don't know how it would feel to have your own mother choose other people over you and not you. How it would feel now to be able to navigate that, take yourself through life, like wewe mwenyewe ndio umejilea, to get to this place where, guys, he works at Wall Street. And I was just making a joke and I was telling, when I was watching those series and I hear someone at Wall Street and he just told me it's like the financial district it's the biggest, he'll tell us all those things, yeah? So you can bet he doesn't even live with us, but we are happy he's progressing there in the US. So he will be able to share his story with us. And for me, he's a young man that I'm hosting. I don't know, we made some jokes and I felt like I'm vibing with my small bro, but he's tall, making me feel so shorter in this conversation, but he will be able to walk us through his story. But before that, guys, I gotta pay some bills. Allow me to say thank you to our partners at Lemonade Finance. Wanaita Lemfi this time. Thank you so much for coming through. It's a money sending app that allows you to send money to your family here in Kenya from the UK and Canada, and they give you really good rates. It's the best rates and it's zero rate to send, zero fee. They don't charge you anything to send, and you can send that to your family here in Africa through M-Pesa, their bank accounts. Na pesa itawafikia between between 3 to 5 minutes. So do use my code LEAN there so that you're able to get 10% cash back on every first 100 Canadian dollars or pounds that you use, and let me know what you think. Up here you comment on the comment section, and also to say thank you to my guys at Elegance Fashion for coming through. The look, kila kitu, hata nywele sasa niko karibu kusema ni elegance. Asanteni sana for coming through, and to you my people for supporting our work. Do not forget we have a Telegram channel where we are interacting with you guys. You are just funny. You are just funny on the Telegram channel, so go check it out guys. Let's interact and have some fun. Na nimeongea sana, so now without further ado, please allow me to let this gentleman introduce himself. Good morning.
Good morning, Lynn.
How are you?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Yeah.
It's been a great time.
Looking good too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Uko salama?
Kabisa.
Sorry I kept you waiting.
Yeah, no worries.
Sana jua as an American you are like this Kenyans. These Kenyans can't keep time. Yeah.
I remember I told your team I'll be there 10 minutes before.
Yes, and you are here 10 minutes
I always try to keep that culture.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me not talk a lot. So please introduce yourself.
So my name is Pius. At home they call me Pius.
Yes.
Especially, deep in the village, they add an I at the end.
Yes.
Pius. Yeah. Mibika, but
Yeah.
most people know me as Msaidizi.
Yes.
And born and raised in Meru, but I've lived in the US for the last 6 years.
Yes.
And I am, a recent author,
Yeah.
but I pay bills in Wall Street.
Yeah.
So I'm an investment banker,
Yes.
and specifically I do leverage finance.
Okay.
So we are the guys that help companies buy other companies using debt.
Okay.
Yes.
Who can you get? And I need to sell something. Where am I selling? Is the money good? When the dollar right now in Atuchapa.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
I know.
we could talk. Do people tell you also have a great voice?
Well, I think this is probably the second time, or probably the first time in the last 10 years.
That someone is telling you have a
Yeah.
beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Who are you riding with? Please? who are these people you came with? That don't tell me you have a great voice. Emma, she's one of them. She's the first one of the third.
Someone is losing their job today.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's good. I can honestly I can tell there's something there.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Oh,
You love
thank
in
you.
Kenya?
Love in Kenya?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, I love it here every time.
How often do you come home?
Twice a year. Yeah, twice a year, except 2021 when I didn't come the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I try to come twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one thing for people to come home to their home. So let me just ask, when you come home, where do you come? And I hope when we get deeper to the conversation, people
Yeah.
will understand.
Yeah.
When you come home, what's home to you?
Wow, that's deep. Because mostly when I come in, I'm in Nairobi,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of things going on. But recently, every time I come, the first place I go is to Shags in Meru. And I make sure I spend at least a week with my grandma.
Yeah.
Because as we'll be talking, you'll see, why grandma. But at least a week with the grandma, and then I come back to Nairobi now to do my things, and then go again, see her, and then travel out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your home has always been grandma.
Yes,
Okay.
for the longest time I remember.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first, congratulations on your book.
Thank
Guys,
you.
you are seeing it on the screen. This is not an ad. This is me believing in this man's story. So the book is already on the screen, but the series here is called Rebuilding. There are so many things you are putting together in your life.
Yes.
So before my people tell me, Lynn story ni nini, let you walk us through your story,
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
abandonment, rejection, you getting to end up at Wall Street. That
Yeah.
is a big deal, That's a big deal. You
Very
getting to,
humbling as well.
it's a big deal. You getting to end up there. So I want to take my seat and just chill.
Yeah.
So if you could take us through your story up to this point where we are right now.
Well, wow, let's board the plane.
Yeah, let's board.
Yeah, so I don't know where to start, but I can start probably with one of the most painful moments, which is when these are the stories I'm told by my grandma and a few other people. When I was born, and then it was all beautiful, by a very young couple, which is my father and my mom. And then unfortunately, things happen. And so they separated. I was 4 months old.
4.
Yeah, when they separated. And then, mama kamsema, time to, start life again. And she left me. And actually that time when they were arguing, she was leaving. So on our way out of the homestead, because kwetu ni kamlima kidogo, there's a neighbor down there. That's why actually she left me, and then she walked. And then grandma came. That time she was following her, and took over, took me back to my dad. And
how old were you when mom left?
4 months old.
Oh, just that 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So when she walked, grandma took over, went to my dad. Now they're trying to see the way forward. I'm the firstborn. The good thing is grandma's had some experience with taking care of kids, so it wasn't that tough for her. But from there she started to raise me. So it was back and forth between my grandma and my father. Maziwa ya mbuzi nimekunywa. But mostly because my grandma was living away, a distance from where my father was living. So there's a time she would bring me, in, depending on also the relationship with my father, because, when you brought home, you have to have a woman that can take care of you. So my father at that time was still, looking for someone else. But that's why I was raised for a while, back and forth between grandma's home and my father's home, until sometime, was it 5 years or so, when now my father passed on. And now I was left with my stepmom.
Oh, he had married already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, actually before the stepmom, he had married another woman late, the mother to my stepsister, before then marrying now the current stepmom. So I was left at home, and that time my grandma was again, kwetu ni Maua, so my grandma was in Imenti, which is a distance, so she didn't know what was going on. So I stayed with my stepmom for a while. We mourned my father's, death, the funerals and everything.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, until when I was around 7, which was almost 2 years later. Things, started going south, and actually that's where now the story of the book starts, when I was 7 years. Because we started having a lot of friction with my stepmom. And to be honest, I like being honest, but I also don't like, I try to be also very kind with it, because actually even in the book I mentioned that probably I was, the hard-headed kid, because the first time there was, things kids do, and then I remember I was beaten, and a small piece of the cane entered, I don't know whether it's here or here, because I usually confuse between the two. So the second time, I remember my stepbrother I was the babysitter. The stepbrother was sleeping. I woke him up, and that now became a problem. It was by accident, and she came again to, trying to cane me, and I disappeared. And unajua, in African homesteads, when you run away, the punishment is still waiting for you.
It's even much worse.
Yeah, so you run away and she's like, just go forever, never come back. And I talked to my sister that time, and my stepsister was like, I don't think I can take this. Siwezi chapwa tena. So I was still healing that time, my hand. So nikamwambia, when you guys go to sleep tonight, make sure you leave the kitchen window open. So in Shags, there's the main house and the kitchen, which is separate. So leave the kitchen window open so that when I come at night, I can just, enter through the window and then sleep in the kitchen. And she was hesitant, but I was betting on the fact that I knew my sister really was, very merciful. She was young and, she embraced me. So nikaenda, played with some kids out there until late, around 9 p.m. Came back home, stayed on the upper part of the homestead. Nikajificha hapo kidogo for a while till I saw, they went to bed. But I could clearly see, life was moving on regardless.
Without you.
Yeah. So painful kidogo. You're there.
Especially when you're thinking they would be looking for you, searching for you, waiting for you.
Yes. That time I felt so much hatred and love in equal measure for grandma. Because she's like the mother I knew. So I used to feel it was very unfair that I was going through this and she's not here.
Yeah.
But I needed a place to sleep. So I went, jumped through the window, then went to the kitchen. And funny enough, I found my stepsister had eaten some food.
For you?
Yeah, ugali and sukuma. For me, when I was looking for some firewood to put on some fire because it was really, really cold. So I had the piece of ugali left over and a bit of sukuma. Then I called it a night. So I wake up very early in the morning, and my plan was, we used to have a jogo that would crow every time in the morning around 4 or 5. So that day I'm waiting for it to, make the sound so that I can wake up. And then it doesn't happen. So I wake up, ready to jump through the window and run. And guess who is standing there? It was on a Sunday morning. It's my stepmom. She's standing there holding kiberiti because she usually came there to warm water to cleaners to go to church. And she's like, I knew you were here the whole night. It's just that she decided not to, to come for me, but she knew I had actually slept there. She tells my sister, go bring his bag. It's like they had packed all my clothes in a small black round bag. And tells my sister, she was really, really young, to throw it at me, and she couldn't. She started crying. Takes it, throws it at me, and she's like, you can now keep running.
And I'm in peace.
Yeah. So nikaenda hapo chini kwetu kulikuwa na kaduka my father used to operate. So I went to that kaduka. We used to keep it as a store for all the farming equipment. We'd keep them there. So I opened there. I sat there. Then my sister comes. I was still crying. My sister comes and gives me the key. My stepmother is standing there looking at us. I opened there and made that, my home for the few days that I stayed there. Once in a while, my sister would bring me some food. And
had you not started school?
No, I was not at school that time. And now, actually, that's when I moved to that shop. It's the way they make the shops next to the road, especially in Shags. Kalikuwa kambao, kadogo. So there's a school not far from where we live, and that was like a main road. So every morning I would hear kids running to school. Then I would open the window and look at them, and I would admire, what I was seeing. They were wearing green, the school uniform. I loved it. But then I knew there was no way I was going there. I used to have 2 friends who we used to play with. Like when I was chased away from home, I went to play with them. So they would tell me about these beautiful things about school, the way the teachers teach them to count numbers and the way people speak English. That's what I loved the most, speaking the English. And they say they want to be great people. Fall in love with it, the way they describe. But I've never been to a classroom, so I just visualize it in my head. So one morning, I see my stepbrother and my stepsister coming down the way to the side that I was actually looking at the students going to school. And they're wearing the same uniform, green. So it hits me that they're going to school, to nursery actually. And I'm not going to school with them. And that was the day I packed and left home. And I left home with one mission, to find someone to take me to school. So before I left, I told my stepsister and my stepbrothers, they were very young, going to nursery, that I'm looking forward to when they come home, wakuje waniambie, about school. So I'm telling them to learn as much as possible. So when they left, I left. And nikajiambia, what I will do is that I will go telling the neighbors, I give them a deal. I work for you, whatever you want me to do, and then in return, just take me to school. So the first neighbor is where I was left when I was 4 months old. Nikaenda nikapata huyo mama hapo, nikamwambia, just give me anything to do and then you take me to school. She was like, okay, I think this can work. So I became a babysitter because she knew I was babysitting my younger brother for some time. First week, second week, nothing. So apparently she needed me most when the kids were in school because that's when she needed help to babysit. So there's no way she was going to take me to school because that means I would come home around 1 p.m. and then at that time every kid in the homestead is back. So I left without telling them. Packed everything and just walked. Nikaenda nikapata another neighbor way down, farther from where we lived. And give him a deal.
Yeah.
Give me something to do, take me to school.
And where is grandma all this time? Why is grandma not coming to look for you?
She didn't know.
Oh, she didn't even know you had been chased.
Yeah, when my father died, it broke that woman down. I've never seen grandma that broken in my life. Yeah, it really broke her down. So she tried to keep away. And then when my father died, I didn't even mention that in the book. I wrote that chapter and deleted it because it was painful. Yeah, so when he died, he stayed in the hospital mortuary for over a month. And actually, they were going to burn his body the day my grandma made it to get the body.
Oh.
She was literally begging
Them.
the mortuary guys, I think it was in Maua, not to burn his body because when he stayed in the hospital, the bill was too much for us. It's really brought us down. So the bill is accumulating, the mortuary, or the longer someone stays there, the more you pay. So grandma went to everybody I could ever remember in that village trying to source for funds. And nobody in my family even talks the way my father was buried. Because I remember that day when they came home and there was no coffin and they're trying to, because they didn't even know the hospital was going to agree. They had to make, when you cut the mbao in Ushago, there's the leftovers that, from the outside of the tree. That's what they made the coffin. It was actually made at home. And my father was buried so hurriedly because it was not planned. Nobody knew that they were going to agree to give the body. I remember grandma breaking down because the church we even used to go to is called to come in and bury my father. And they had even refused to come. But eventually, because I remember some speakers were there, I guess they managed to come. But it was a very, very painful process that woman went through. So when all that happened and the way she saw people, people, she was feeling like people could have really come in for the family. So she decided to stay away for some time. So that time when I'm walking to the village, I find this family and they agree. They're like, we'll give you something to do. So they had around 20 goats and they had someone who was taking care of them. They're like, this guy, actually his name, we were called the same name, Kimathi. Yeah. She had a middle name.
Oh, you are Kimathi?
Yeah,
okay.
Kimathi. So you're like, Kimathi might, need another Kimathi because 20 goats is a lot for this guy. So what we're thinking, just work with him for a few weeks, and then we'll give you actually one of the uniforms. There was a young boy in the family who was going to the same school, the green uniform school. That you'll use one of his old uniforms to go to school. But first, you need to see that you can really do this. I was like, I'll do it. So I started herding the goats with him. To wake up very early in the morning, leave around 5, sometimes 6, because it was a very long walking distance, like 2 hours walking to where they used to graze their goats. That became a routine. Wake up every morning, go herding, then come in the evening around 6. So first month goes, nothing. Keep asking them and they're like, we are working on it. We, trying to just be patient. And one day I decided no.
Not again.
Yeah. So apparently that day, the guy, Kimathi, was feeling unwell. So they wake up and they're like, we know now you know how to herd and you can go on yourself. And I said, no, I'm not going. So we had planned it with him. So we are taking advantage of the fact that he was unwell to really push these people, because he knew every time I'm the one who used to go pick our food from the main house, because we used to pack githeri, sometimes ugali, because we won't come until evening. So he used to joke to me, naona vile unaangalia kijana, so the boy that was going to school, naona vile unaangalia kijana, I know you really love this, but you know, this life is not for you, ingine. So when he was sick, he was like actually advising me to to leave.
Yes.
And that's what I did. Packed everything, I left. And then nikajipata walked the whole day trying to figure out where to go until evening when it was late. I'm so hungry and worn out. Luckily, I find myself to my cousin's place on the other side of the village. And, they were a bit well off by the village standards. Some of them were actually going to these private academies. But nikajiambia, it's time to give up. Because at least if I talk to them nicely and don't put my burdens to them about school, I might stay there for a while. So I started staying with them. I never mentioned anything to do with school. Nikajiambia hapa tunakanyagia. Because I knew I had also, worked with people for a while. Yeah, became a normal kid. They embraced me. We became friends with my cousins. Started playing around. So one day we were playing hide and seek. Walikuwa na kaduka pia. And I hear a very familiar voice. Pale kwa duka. I'm like, that sounds familiar. Nikaenda kuchungulia. It was my grandma. I ran. I embraced that woman mpaka huyu mama alikuwa ameniweka akaanza kushtuka hivi. I was really happy at her place. And I started crying and I told grandma, you'll never leave me again. So that was the time we reconnected with grandma. Yeah, so she's there, she's trying, the uncles, the wife is trying to convince her that actually I can stay here because, I'm a very nice kid. The kids, enjoy my company. But ngambia, shush, you are not living with me. So nilimkwamilia, and that's what happened. We left, and now we left my father's place, and then we went to live with grandma. Yeah, one thing I didn't know is that woman also didn't have it easy on the other side, because my father, when he died, I think it just changed the whole, equation of everything. Because I went there and she was struggling. That time she was selling her farm produce, and depending on the farm and seasons, sometimes in between, can be challenging for you to wait until the next harvest.
Yeah.
So I went there with the same, I'm happy. Sasa shosha, hiyo atanipeleka shule. I'm so happy. Because I'm like, I'm going to school. So we go there, Shosh tries to explain to me, for you to go to school, you need a school uniform. You need to be coming home, you find food, you need someone to be taking care of, of you. And she feels like there's a lot going on. She really can't sit there to be cooking and doing all those things. And even to make it worse, we can't afford the school uniform. So, and that time, school started technically at nursery school.
Yeah.
She also makes it clear to me that we need to find money to be paying your nursery school. Shida zikakuwa mingi, so ikakuwa siwezi enda shule. But I was happy that I'm with grandma.
Yeah.
Shida ikakuja na mtu anaitwa Mwai Kibaki. He makes education free, but from class 1.
Yes.
And he says every kid has to go to school. Every kid of age has to go to school. That's ameambia chief. Unajua that time ya chief.
Yes.
That's the chief, so may advise you what make sure in your village
every kid
is in school. One thing with the Imenti, that Meru side, is that those people now, they embraced education since the old days. Ikakuwa sasa ni hide and seek na chief. Every time chief anakuja lazima nitafute. Because anajua siko shule. Anasema I'm setting a bad example to the other kids. Ikakuwa sasa every time Shosha akienda soko, the chief is around chasing me. Akasema mimi ndio kichwa ngumu, ndio nakataa shule, Shosh can take me to school. And tukaanza sasa nafuata Shosh kwa soko. Nikienda kuuza those bananas and all the things she was selling, namfuata asubuhi. So this becomes a problem because unaenda soko, unasikia the way people are embracing education. It's free, they're talking about all these things, that their kids, you know, they're loving school. Unatoka jioni mkikuja na Shosh, unapata na watoto wakitoka shule. I used to feel bad. One day tunatoka na Shosh soko, we find a boy anaitwa Kevin, alikuwa mtoto wa neighbor. Unamwangalia, I admire, you know, amebeba bag, amevaa uniform. It just looks like someone who has a future. And nikafuata Kevin. Nikamwambia Shosh, waenda nyumbani, cheneni na Kevin. Kitisha Kevin vitabu, then nikamwambia nionyeshe, you know, how people are taught in school and all those things. And Kevin was so generous. He tries to show me, like, you know, hizi vitu wanafunzwa. He was in class 1. Hizi vitu wanafunzwa, this is how teachers teach, this is how classrooms look. Hiyo inaisha. I liked, you know, the books and everything. The next day, Kevin akitoka shule ananipata hapo.
Same.
Yeah. The next day the same. So Mama Kevin starts wondering, who is this boy? And why is he, you know, interested? Then I sat down, nikamwelezea everything. And he's like, Kevin has an extra uniform, the older uniform he doesn't use. We can give you the uniform. Yeah. But first I need to, you know, talk to your grandma and see whether she can agree. But unfortunately, I can't afford to pay your nursery school. So we have to lie. And the lie is, when I take you to school, say you... So I knew how to speak Swahili.
Yes.
Apparently, because we had really tried to embrace that in the family, because the sister to my father used to live in Coast, Mombasa. Yeah. So kunaongea Kiswahili kidogo, and he's like, sasa hiyo Kiswahili ndio tutatumia. Tukienda pale shule, usiongee Kimeru. Ongea Kiswahili. Alafu tuseme unajua hii Kiswahili kwa sababu ulikuwa umesoma nursery huko Mombasa na kwa auntie yako. Ukisema umesoma nursery, automatically unafaa kwenda class 1. Alafu akasema pia age, it just, I mean, there's no way I was that old in nursery.
Yes.
So akasema sasa age and height. Utaenda class 1, so nursery utanini, because the issue ni nursery ndio tusilipe. Shosha akaulizwa, huyu kijana akipata shule utakuwa unahakikisha ako na lunch? Shosha akasema, yeah, sasa hivi tunaenda vizuri, I can find him lunch. Nikaenda shule. So the first thing, mwalimu anakuja na notice there's a new student in class. Anauliza, who is this and why are you here, blah blah blah, and Kevin akashoot. Akasema mamangu alisema atakuja kumwandikisha. So mwalimu akauliza, unafaa kuwa hii class? Yes. Nikasema yes, nilikuwa class 1. I forgot, I was supposed to say nursery. That's the problem with lying.
Man, you can never keep up.
So I said I was in class 1. The teacher is like, oh, like a class ya Mrs. Nguku. That is class 2, the next class. I went to class 2.
Hey.
Mwalimu waza Kevin anasema, mwalimu wa class teacher amesema Mrs. Gitonga amesema tumlete class, huyo anafaa kwa class 2. Sema sawa.
Hey.
And that's how I started school.
Class 2.
In class 2.
Hey. No, that's like,
Sasa tumesoma na Kevin, you know, we became friends. Sasa nishaenda one class ahead of Kevin. So which was an advantage.
Yes.
Because nilikuwa na vitabu za class 1 za kusoma. Nikasoma, TBD, I loved school. The first exam, midterm, niko number 3.
Congrats.
The teacher is like, okay, I can't let this boy go. So challenges zimekuwa mingi, but the class teacher akakwama na mimi. She makes me the class prefect.
Oh, yeah.
The next exam I become number 1. The next one, number 1. Class 2 yote I'm topping. Tukaanza class 3, the first exam I'm topping. Class 3, mwezi wa 9. Shosh comes and tells me you're moving. Tunarudi where your father is, where your father's home is, because hapa mambo imekuwa ngumu. It was several days I'd gone without food. Akaniambia, I don't think a student is supposed to be like that. Tukirudiwa kwa baba yako, at least watu wenu wako huko. People, ikikuwa ngumu watu wanaweza kusaidia. Sikuchukua anything. Tulichukua tu nguo. Shosh ana fare. So he tells me, naenda tuuze hii, alikuwa amepanda hizi papaws. Tupande tuuze hizi mapapai kwa soko tupate fare. Tuende nyumbani. So we had to walk a longer distance because ile pesa tuliuza ingetosha ya kumove, ya kupanda gari.
Ndio mpande huko mbele.
Yes, and that's what we did. Finally we found a very lucky, a very kind guy, akatukubali kutubeba na ile pesa tulikuwa nayo. We went kwa kale kaduka nilikuwa nimeishi hiyo, that's where we started life with grandma. Sasa, that was not the end. Grandma is like, hapa, I don't have nothing. So, but before she tells me, mimi naona grandma ameanza kunifunza kupika. So first of all, tumekuja tumekaa 2 weeks peleko shule. Because tena hakuna school uniform, hatuwezi tumia ile. So nikampush, akaniambia, anataka kwenda kwa forest, huko jangwani, anza kuchoma makaa apate pesa kunibaya uniform anipeleke shule. Nikamwambia hapana. Mimi juu ni bright student, nitaongea na head teacher, nikubali shule. I managed to convince grandma. So we go there to the school. Mwalimu amesema siwezi admit huyu mwanafunzi kama ilikuwa 500, sijui ni registration ama ni construction fee na school uniform. Ile yote courage nilikuwa nayo ikadisappear. So tukafukuzwa. So we are walking, then we find this teacher anajuana na Shosh. She takes my report form. She opens and she's like, wow, you've been topping. I mean, you have perfect grade. Let me try and see whether there's something I can do. Anaenda naongea na head teacher. Anatoka ananiambia umekubaliwa shule. Enda class 3. Napelekwa class 3 and that's how I started school, in the new school. Luckily, along the way, grandmama manages to find me a school uniform. Kwa hii shule I go and the first exam I top. The second one I top and the teachers are amused because they're like, this kid, there's something in him. So along the way, Shosh ananifunza kupika. Mimi sijui mbona grandma ananifunza kupika, but I'm loving it. Class 4.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah.
When you were about to call grandma, you said mom.
Yeah.
Did you become accustomed to calling grandma mom?
I call her mom up to today. We talk with grandma, I think every day. I make an effort even nikiwa US to call her at least every day. Okay. And that's all I call her. Call her mommy. During
this whole process, because your mom leaves when you're 4.
Yeah.
Does she ever come looking for you? Do you even know where she is?
No. Yeah. And grandma tried to hide that from me. Because I think she was also trying to protect me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what point in your life do you connect with your mom again?
Wow. Several years later, I managed to do well in KCPE.
Okay.
And that is now the time actually I met with mom, not in a very good experience, because after KCPE, there's a number of times I dropped out of school because grandma left me when I was class 4 to go to the place alikuwa anasema ya kwenda kuchoma makaa. So I started living alone in class 4. You started living alone?
Yeah. We don't have to rush. Take us. Sorry, we can go to you meeting mom.
Yeah.
Let's finish this part. So now grandma has left.
Yeah.
And now you are taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Like you alone.
Yeah, that's why she was, at that moment, that's when I came to realize that's why she was teaching me how to cook, ugali and all these things and how you go about it, because she knew, something was coming. So I wake up and she's like, this is the only way it has to go, because we were struggling. We were really, really struggling. And most of the time she saw how broken I could be when I come home and see how struggling she was.
There's no food, there's nothing.
Yes, there's no food. Half of the house you're living in is raining. So for her living, like, that was the only way she was going to, you know, find something. So class 4, I'm alone. Grandma manages to send me whatever she can get once in a while. The time she stayed for 2 months without saying anything, I went looking for her. I find that grandma has been sick for the last 2 months, that she didn't send anything. And actually, in the book, that was the first time I ever got employed. It was in the holidays. Nikapewa kazi kwa kibanda hapo ya kuosha vyombo. And I made 50 bob per day. A lot of money. 50 bob. So I'm trying to convince grandma tunaweza fungua hoteli kama hii. I don't have to go to school so that someone can take care of her because she has been unwell. And grandma convinces me that I have to go back to school. So we stayed there. I think it was during the April holiday until she has energy. She goes back to the forest. Ile miti alikuwa amekata, alikuwa ameuza kama kuni ndio apate pesa ya kubuy dawa. So she's starting afresh. She teaches me how the process of kuchoma makani, hizo vitu zote. But luckily, she convinces the guy that was employing me to find us some cash so that nirudi shule. I went to school late, and I had a way of managing to do well in exams. So you drop out, you come out, umesoma like a month, but still manage a way of, you know, top the exams. So the teachers started seeing that huyu kijana atapotea. One of the teachers akakuja kwetu. He comes and sees the place I was staying in. That time nyumba yote sasa ishaanza kunyesha. So namuonyesha najifunikanga na hii karatasi kukinyesha. And he was actually a PTA teacher. He was not earning a lot. We were joking about it because he told me he was earning 4,000 per month. And kulikuwa na ile tuition anafunza. He would give me 200 every Friday. So this teacher is like, I have a single room, like a studio. Tutumiangi, I can let you stay there. Because hapa nayo, hii ni uongo. Huwezi survive. He buys me a kajiko kamaka because pale nyumbani nilikuwa natumia kuni. And I moved to Kayalo Market. I still continue staying alone. But now at least, you know, it's better. I know someone who is taking care of me. Every Friday, 200. I survived class 5. Class 6 becomes tough. The guy leaves the school. So no more money coming. So back to grandma. So grandma, zuri yake nikienda kumtembelea narudi na makaa. Ndio niko na kale kajiko. So I used to love it. But unajua class 6 content imeanza kuwa mingi. The teachers wakakaa chini wakaona. That time nilikuwa nishafanywa hadi class school captain nikiwa class 6. Teachers were like,
head boy.
Yeah.
Wewe.
Yeah.
Kama kwa class 6.
Yeah, na kupreach. You know, they nicknamed me pastor.
Oh, yeah?
They used to preach. So the biggest moment in my life was the day I learned how to speak Kiswahili and English and read it, because nili preach in that school. I preached. So these teachers wakapatana, wakaambiana, how can we make these guys' life easier? Wakasema class 7 and 8 this guy will be eating with the teachers. So class 7 and 8 nilikula na chakula ya walimu shule. Watoto wakienda nyumbani unabaki na Nkiriana.
Shout out.
Yeah. So mimi nikaendelea kutia bidii. In the process pia the teacher who gave me a place to stay, kumbe pia alikuwa msanii. So he's actually the one who introduced me into music.
Oh, you can sing?
Yeah, I've done a number of songs. That's why the name Saidizi now was born. I was actually in class 5. Because it's like, pick a name. Every artist has a name which is not their name. And I picked him Saidizi for 3 reasons. One, kamwambia, I know that I'm Saidizi in my life. And I know God is that Msaidizi na atatuma Msaidizi. 2, one day, I want to stand and help others. He loved the name. Tukafanya my first song. Yeah, I was excited. Life imeanza kwenda vizuri mpaka nafanya muziki na kula
in primary school. You're eating. How was your first song like?
It was actually educational song.
No, can you sing it?
Mbona usisome?
Eh.
Mbona usisome? Elimu ni muhimu, elimu maisha. Ndugu zangu tusomeni, mbona usisome?
Hold on. And this you are doing when you're in class?
I wrote the song when I was in class 5 as a class prefect.
Please, who are you? Okay.
Actually, I wrote that song because I was frustrated.
Yes. I'm just like, you going through all these things.
Yeah.
To other people, you don't even get now to realize the talent that even you have within
Yes.
you during such times. Because I think for me, it was just survival. Tumekula, okay, good. You don't even care about talent or gift or these other things.
Yeah.
But you are able to identify there's something in you. So kudos.
Thank you. And I think that's the spirit I've embraced in a while. The spirit of wanting to be more than a student.
Yeah.
And I think even the same thing happened in high school. Like, really wanted to be more than a student. The same thing happened in the university. Never settled on just being a student. I felt there's always more.
Okay.
So in primary, I'm a preacher, I'm the captain, and I'm the musician.
Yeah.
So teachers coming from a rescue, actually, maisha London.
Yes, now.
Kama uko na chakula lunch,
That's
breakfast, who needs breakfast?
No one.
Dinner, watu
Tutatafutilia.
yeah. So I finished class 8.
Yeah.
I became the best student in Igembe North constituency out of around 50 schools.
You.
No, yeah.
Number 1.
Yes.
You are awesome. So number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
In all the schools, now people are like, okay, who is this boy? Even the people that didn't know you, now surprised, who is this boy? And in Shags, people really embrace.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So tumerudi hapo, walimu wakaniambia don't worry, tutatafuta cheo utaenda shule. Then in the process, a teacher knows about the Wings to Fly program.
Yeah.
Kakuja akaniambia kuna hii program ya equity and we think you're very, a perfect candidate for it. And wakaniambia, but in the application process there's one challenge. You need to prove you really, have financial need, because Equity was very thorough with the way they did their process. Yeah, especially, I hope it has never changed, but it was, like that those days. So for father, it was easy. I can prove I don't have a father. We have evidence that, he's dead.
Yeah.
But now the mother becomes the tricky part, because they're like, we can't kill your mother. We can't say she's dead. Because if we say she's dead, we need a death certificate or something that proves she's dead. If we say she's alive, we have to prove by having a copy of her ID. Now that's where the problem comes in. Nobody has an ID from my mother. So they went looking for her. Believe it or not, all those years, my mother lived 20 shillings away from me. 20 shillings away from me. It broke me when my teachers came and told me your grandma was able to show us where your mother works. We live in Kaelo, she worked at Lare, literally 20 shillings away by matatu. So they're like, and she said she can't give her ID because she got married. She had kids almost to her age, and she doesn't want this to ruin her marriage. And I start wondering, whether have I been a secret, or those questions you get as a kid, wondering, and it just, and that's time you've done very well, but, when that thing comes, it breaks you that you forget, you start even questioning your value in the society. And the fact that she has said no to the ID. So the teachers are like, let's make this a police case. So wakaenda wakamwambia, actually, we have come here, kindly, but the next time we are coming, tutakuja na police. So she realized, actually, this is not going to be also a family issue, but itakuwa a police case. So wakasema, okay, I'll give the ID. So she asks that she can only give it under one condition. She gives it to me. I meet my mom for the first time at Lare. and we go straight to the cyber. I remember it was called Lucy's Cyber at Lare. Atujiongea vitu mingi. Hi, hello, nini. First of all, the first time I looked at her, bwana ile umezubaa mpaka karibu jipige kofi. Umezubaa umemwangalia. Because you have so many questions and you know, this is your mom and you start now feeling like, you know, that love you wish you can have. So tukaenda pale. Nikaenda nikawhisper kwa huyu jamaa wa cyber nikamuuliza, is there a way I can get this ID in future? Is there a way I can toa mingi so that in future I don't, because it might be another problem. He's like, we can toa copy to laminate and then ingine tukuwekea kwa email. So we create an email. My mom doesn't know. Yeye amesimama pale nje, hiyo tunafanya hapo ndani. And up to today, that's what I use. I have that email copy. That's in case I need parents' IDs. That's what I used to produce IDs. But that was the first time I met my mom, and that was the first experience that we had. But luckily, I managed to get the Wings to Fly scholarship.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. And that's how I managed to go to high school, and that's how my life changed completely.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That must have been hard. Because
Yeah.
you have questions. No, sorry. Because you have, sorry.
Yeah.
Of all days, my tissues are missing. It's okay. Because you have questions and thank you. You have these questions and you need answers.
Yes.
And you can't even, were you scared of
Very
asking so many questions?
Very scared. I got there, that's what I got there, you know, you plan it in your head, you know, the way I will come and I'll be very mad at her and ask her so many questions. You get there, the first thing you do is freeze. And like, you know, you don't know. It's the first time you're seeing your mom and the fact that she is not far from you and the way you've suffered alone. I froze. So we didn't even talk much.
And she didn't even want the husband to know you are...
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently that's what I was told.
That's okay.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
But
You get the scholarship.
yeah, I get the scholarship. I went to Iku Boys High School.
Was it your dream school?
My dream school was Alliance.
Oh, wow.
And that's another story
Yeah.
because I went to Iku late because I was like, I'm not going to that school. Because I was like, I was the best in the district. I know, and I had 399. I missed 400 with 1 point. And I was like, all I know is that every top student in the district goes to
Alliance.
big national school.
Alliance.
Yeah. Yeah, like, no. But apparently it was God's plan that
To
I
go
go
to
to Iku because the things I did at Iku, I don't think I could have done at Alliance because that's where I boarded my first flight when I was in that school.
Going where?
I was going to Rwanda as one of the 10 student leaders that were going to represent Kenya in MasterCard Student Leaders Convention or something. It was in Kigali, Rwanda.
Now you're boarding planes.
Yeah, so I was like, it's God's plan. Yeah, because I enjoyed my life at Iku. Yeah, I wrote actually my first book, which was around 50 pages.
Wait, this is not your first book?
No, but I don't usually call that a book.
Okay.
Because it was really small.
Yeah.
And all I was doing is telling people my story and, you know, how I was, you know, raised and I was able to go to high school, which I was the first person to ever achieve, you know, such a milestone in my family. So I was like, this is success. So I write a book. I become very influential in high school.
Where?
And end up becoming the leader of the school in Iku, because I becoming the CU treasurer. I was still preaching. And, you know, ends up becoming a motivational speaker.
Wait.
So Niko Form 2, and I'm invited in other schools to talk to
other
Form 4s.
students.
And so I do a number of schools, like 4 schools.
Yeah.
Kidogo nishajipata kwa media. I'm doing some interviews in our local stations. I go to QFM. Remember that time I was interviewed by Rashid Abdallah and this other lady that went to the US. Nikajua kumbe I can be somebody. And I started now dreaming big.
Okay.
That's the time I started saying also I don't want to study in Kenya. want to study abroad. Tell people, yeah, you're joking. Hakuna mtu, that time IKU was a national school, yes. But one of these new national schools. Like, hakuna mtu ametoka IKU anaenda kusoma abroad. Wewe uko na mambo. I go to the village and I tell them I want to do my studies in America. Like, kijana kili kidogo.
Si sawa.
Yeah. Because first of all, watu wameona ile shida unakula. Oh, unaenda America na nini? Unakuwa nini? Tunatumia baiskeli.
Naenda America.
So I struggled to sell the dream.
Yeah. Oh.
And tukamaliza IKU.
I think for me it's that part. Yeah. A dream should never be hard to sell.
Yeah.
And I think looking back, the number of people who right now are just dying with their dreams inbound, like they could never express, because it's like a commodity. I have to speak a lot about this, so guys, you understand this is how I'm feeling, because I feel like people already know who you should be, but you know who you are. Yeah. So you're here telling people you need to go study abroad. People are like, but look at where you come from. Here tunaendesha baiskeli, you are talking about going abroad. Like, I don't know. It's just hard. Sometimes you can't. Yeah.
It is lame. Yeah. And sometimes, and I tell people this, I don't blame them. And even in the book I've said I didn't blame them, because it's very hard to convince someone you can fly when all you've ever done is walk.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
so, like, I don't blame them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I never gave up. I saw it happening. I was like, I will be the first person in my village to go to America. And I owned it. Life has a way of surprising you. Okay. Normaliza Form 4, you get an A-. And then you realize the bridge to that dream is not easy. Because umemaliza Form 4, where do you start going to America? And hakuna kitu nilikuwa naogopa lane. Kama kurudi to my village. That time my grandma had moved back at home. Alikuwa amejenga kanyumba karound kama tope na nyasi juu. I think alikuwa anatosha na hii mahali tuko kadogo hivi. Like, sidhani naweza toshea na hii height saa hii. Diagonal, alikuwa kadogo. So I remember when I finished Form 4, nikaamua acha niende mtaa Nairobi. Because there I have higher chances. In Form 3 pia nilikuwa nimepatana na DJ Mo. Kani promise nikimaliza shule atakuja ni introduce kwa watu, I do music. So I knew at least there was something waiting for me in town. But the biggest reason is like, I was not going to stay here, because when I was praying, I told God, for the sake of grandma, nisiwe rudi hapa. That's what I told God. That time, naambia Shosh nitamjengea nyumba. Anacheka. One day nitakujengea nyumba. As we speak, she has her dream house in Ushago. A 2-bedroom. Yes. She moved in last year, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Maybe nitamjengea nyumba na naambia this is unbelievable, but wewe ndio usome. Wewe soma tu. Unajua. So tumekuja because I think also God does anafanya vitu zingine kutufunza patience and trust in him. Tumekuja Nairobi. My dream university was KU. For a very simple reason. KU ni one of the cheapest universities when it comes to lifestyle. Kuna hostel, kuna mahali pa kukula around hapo. So nilikuwa nimepiga hesabu, kaona KU ni cheap. Iliitwa Technical University of Kenya. Took upper CBD. It's a day university. That's what it said on my offer letter. No hostels. In Nairobi, which means also food and lifestyle is expensive. Tumerudi class 1. So I'm stranded. That time nimepata internship na Equity. I worked for 4 months. Nimesave 60,000. Nikaangalia hii 60,000. Tukaenda South Sea huko na maboys kutafuta nyumba. Nyumba ilikuwa around 10,000. Kipiga hesabu semester, that is around 30 to 40k rent peke yake. Hapa niko na 60,000. Nimeitwa School of Architecture, wameandika hapo laptop is a must. School fees first semester 25,000. Nimepiga hesabu yangu imekuja bila hata kukula imekuja around 90,000. Nikaambia Equity, I think you guys are going to have a special case because I'm not going to that school. I'm investing all my money in college applications abroad. I told the same to my teachers. I'm like, we are not with you in this.
Yeah.
I even called my principal, Ikubo, is Mr. Mbaya, who we are still friends up to today. His impact in my life is mentioned in the book. Because people are like, you can take help, there's so many things you can do. But I'm like, and then until when? Like, I think I can do it. So Equity had this program where they expose you to college applications and they send mentors.
Yeah.
I hear stories of other people in the US and I'm like, that's where I want to be. Nikaenda took, nikamwambia, can I defer? At least, hii ikienda south, nikuwe na. I think God was like, don't test me.
Yes.
Because I went to, they were like, no. For you to defer, you have to pay the 25,000 first semester. At least ukuwe mwanafunzi.
Utadifaje bila?
I think God was testing my faith.
Yeah.
And imagine I walked out of TUK. Niliwacha wakiambia, hiyo mnasema hiyo.
Jipangeni.
I walked out. I paid for my SATs, SAT1, SAT2, invested some money in a good phone because I didn't have a laptop and college application is intense. You need at least a good phone or a laptop and a good cyber. And did my applications, worked so hard every day, 4 a.m. kusomea hizo exams. I applied to over 10 schools. Nakwambia Mungu anaweza test patience. It's a year almost gone. Lane, sina admission. Watu tulimaliza nao form 4. Hiyo ni mwezi wa 3 hapo. Ndio wambakisha miezi ngapi waingie wamalize wana academic year. Sinaishanga hapo Mei. Mwezi wa 3. Hauko shule. You don't have any hope. And watu walinitoka, nobody wants to stay to host a student who has an A and they're not in school and your kids are in school. So a lot of people that time I was actually living in a hostel in Thika, kadogo, 6 of us. Nikasema hii imezidi. Nikapigia the teacher, 4,000 primary. That time ashakuwa presenter in one of the local stations, radio TV stations. Nikamwambia ninakuja kukaa na wewe Nairobi kidogo ngumu. And that's one guy who believed in me, as in I don't know, nikaa alikuwa ametumwa na Mungu. Wengine unaambia mtu what you did, mpaka unaogopa kuambia watu what you did, that you invested all your money in applications, which is a 50-50 chance. But this guy was like, just come home. He sends me 2,000. Like, just come home. Ya worst case scenario tutakuwa wasanii. Tutakuwa wasanii. So I follow this guy wherever he goes, MC, super MC, nikimfollow every event wanipea 5. So nikaona hii life tunaweza fanya. Hiyo sasa unajua niliapply, mimi nikaenda, rejections zikaanza. Ya kwanza, ya pili, ya tatu, ya 4, ya 5. Half of your schools are gone. There is no school. Now you start even wondering. That time tulienda, kaambia Shosh, we need to pray. And it's mentioned in the book that day I was playing this song by Giuliani. Nitapanda ndege, ndege, mama nitakuwa famous. Hey, one day. I start crying, listening to that song. And I'm telling grandma, things are going to happen. Kidogo, a few weeks later, tumelala. We used to wake up around 4. Juko ni mchana huko, ndio uangalie emails. On 17th of March, I wake up, as usual. Open, first email rejection from Rochester University, which was that time my dream school. The school I knew I was going to. Then the second email hapo chini starts with congratulations. You have received a MasterCard scholarship to study in Michigan State University for 4 years. Lynn scream. Nilipiga nduru. Kaplot ketu kalikuwa na nyumba 4. Kila mtu aliamka. Then this guy comes out, he's a comedian, MC Njagi, he has done a lot of skits. Alikuwa neighbor wetu hapo. He comes out and is like, why are you screaming? It's 5 a.m. I'm like, ile mambo imeingiana. Like, oh, unajua, everyone knew in the plot. Like, imeingiana, yeah, and why are you screaming like that? Louder! Then we scream louder. By the time Laingo, the guy we stayed with, anarudi, tumepiga party hapa super loaf na chai. We are celebrating everyone in the plot.
Oh, come
because
on
they
now.
knew the goal, they knew how much I sold the American dream to them. And it's happening. Like, we celebrated. We go to the details. The scholarship, the school fees was around $70,000 US dollars per year. So that's around 7 million that time. The dollar was,
Yes,
I think, 100. So the scholarship is worth over 30 million for 4 years. Kenya shillings, 30 million. Hey, we celebrate. Few weeks later, another email. Congratulations. Full scholarship, McGill University in Canada. This is a school that was ranked around 23rd in the world that time. Now, compare our best school you were in that time was ranked around 890 in the
University of Nairobi.
world. Yeah. So you're like, wow, it's happening. Kidogo before we celebrate Pennsylvania State University, Ashesi University in Ghana. I have 4 schools to choose from out of nothing. I guess who goes back to becoming a motivational speaker?
My man!
I go back to becoming a motivational speaker, and now armed with something I can convince people that, it pays at the end of the day.
Wow.
And that's how my life changed.
Come on. That's full scholarship.
Yes. I ended up choosing to go to Michigan State University where I got my bachelor's, and I went back again. I got my master's this year in May.
I don't know how many times I'm gonna shake your hand, but niambie Shosh alikupeleka airport.
Yeah. Shosh. Mama kametembea. She took me to the airport. We took her to a vacation a year later when I came to Diani, boarded her first flight. She has taken her to see the ocean. Tumemtembeza hii Nairobi. That woman, only God, can really reward her. But
yes.
You have made her feel young. Tumemtembeza. Tumemtembeza.
God.
Yeah. And now last year, my dream of giving her a home came true when we handed her 2 bedrooms. So every time I go, nifungulia room yako iko hapa. Then, spend the night there.
Yeah.
Eat together and make jokes. And also show people that it is possible.
It is. What did you study?
I studied finance.
Oh, God.
That's how I ended
Hence
up in
Wall Street.
Yeah, I went there going to study engineering, and then I meet finance and fell in love with it. Yeah.
You got a job?
Yeah, I did finance,
Yes.
did a lot of things at Michigan State University. Tried to build a brand there for myself as well. As you speak, I'm a board of director in one of their institutes, the Financial Markets Institute.
Okay, last
Michigan
one, I
State.
promise. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so left MSU, got a job with BNP Paribas. It's a French bank, one of the biggest international banks in investment banking, not the regular banking. We call it high finance there.
Yeah.
To do leverage finance. And kwambia Mungu does his own ways. Kuingia BNP, and the first thing is being appointed also a junior board member in their, new employees. They have a program, they call it AATP, Analyst and Associates Training Program. And guess who is the board member sitting with the CEO trying to chart the way forward for the training programs for the company.
Oh.
Yeah, so I work with BNP for a year and I think a couple of months, and I go back to Michigan State University to pursue my master's, and BNP is like, when you come back, your job is waiting for you. And I went, and this May I finished my master's, Master of Science in Finance, and I'm resuming my work on May 5th of this year with BNP New York.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. I'm honestly like today all my tears are tears of joy because look at you.
It's good.
It's God, man.
Yeah.
It's God.
And, believing and holding on to that goal. When people think it's very impossible. I like it nowadays when someone tells me that is impossible. The same thing with this book. I tell people I'm going back to school and I'm finishing my book, and people are like, that takes time. I'm like, yeah, I have it.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
And Mom, did you ever talk? Did you ever meet again? Where are you guys? Where is your heart?
Mom. So I think when I finished the book, I've said I have tried to make peace.
Let me see.
With the stepmom and the mom as well. And my relationship with mom has not been an easy one. Because I also decided not to be very hopeful. But I've tried my best. Last year, when I finished Form 4, the day the results came out, my mom called. Apparently she had one of the schools I was invited to talk to Nene girls. Usually sikuwa naitisha anything to talk to students, but you give me an opportunity to sell those books. Zile niliandika. Nilikuwa nimeandika kwa kitabu, I used to sell at 150. I made, by the way, there's a time I made 30,000. Nikiwa high school, kijana tajiri. 30K. Yeah. So kumbe kitabu nilikuwa naandika namba ya simu hapo nyuma so that other schools can reach out.
Yes.
Kumbe one of the students in the class was my stepsister from my mother's side. She takes my number, so she will go read the story because I've written the story as honest as possible. Wakisomele kitabu, like, my mom knows who this boy is because the photo was there. And she takes my number, but she doesn't call until like 2 years later. Kimaliza Form 4, that day results zinatoka. She calls. That time I was hosted by Dr. Susan Gitau, a counseling psychologist. Oh,
Dr. Susan?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So, Dr. She's hi, Dr. Susan. I know her. I was doing a pilot, I think 2013 or 2012.
Oh.
We were doing a pilot for one of my shows. It was called Medical Journal. And I needed a specialist, someone who can come and now talk after. Yeah. And we went to her. She was so nice. She gave us tea. She's Dr. Susan. She's amazing.
She was one of the chief guests in my book launch together with Ezekiel and the other guys.
You made it.
Yeah.
You having such a woman there.
Yeah. The story is mentioned here because we could not go into details, but we have had a journey with Susan. We met when I was in Form 4, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring her on the show, guys. I hope she can. I don't know if she can remember me. Maybe she doesn't even know it's me. She gave a chance to, because back then in 2012, who would have even cared? But she did that. So thank you, Dr. Susan. Sorry. So
Susan tells me, ameona vile niko surprised. So she's like, who is it? I'm like, it's my mom. She's like confused. I'm a counselor. Because you don't know what to tell someone at that point. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
So she's like, she used to call me son. So she's like, son, take a deep breath and, speak your heart.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, mom. And nikamwambia, I just got the results. I have a lot of things to figure out, but I promise you once I have my life together, I will look for you. So for now, just give me some space, get it all together because I think I really need all the concentration I can because I knew the next step of my life was going to be rocky and the last thing you need is emotions.
Distractions.
Susan, that was the kindest thing to say. The next time I'm seeing my mom was actually I think this time after kujengea shosh. Tuko hapo tunatafuta mbuzi ya kusherehekea when we were handing over the house. Actually no, it was 2021, not last year. So 2021, I'm even confused. But we were looking for mbuzi ya ku celebrate. And guess who I met kwa hiyo barabara ya butchery. Tukienda si butchery leo na kupeleka kuchinjwe mbuzi, tukipeleka mbuzi kuchinjwa. It's my mother. And I was with one of the family members there. Tunaongea kidogo, akaanza kuniambia vitu mingi na mimi nasikiza, we engage kidogo. Then because it's, you know, in a hurry. Why don't you come at home tomorrow? That's when the event is, so that you know, we can really talk into this. But we had also tulikuwa tumeongea, akaniambia vitu mingi, and you know, especially when what happened, and you know, she's sorry, and she's happy that my life went well. And yeah, nikamwambia kuja kesho basi tuongee so that to ensure she's there, so that we can talk in details, because also unajua kuna ile mtu wa open up. Unajua sasa hauwezi open up niambie what really happened, or why you stayed away for all those things, for those years. The next day we wait for my mother. She never showed up. And then nikirudi US ndio Shosha ananiambia she showed up like a month later. And they never even talked anything in detail. Nile tukusalimiana. And that was it.
What do you feel about her? Because watu husema mzazi ni mzazi.
Yeah. I mean, for my mom, honestly, I think I would love us to engage, because I still have so many questions. I would wish we can have like 1 hour where we're just honest and vulnerable. Someone just, you know, opens up, because sometimes people do what they have to do in certain situations, and that is the best they could have done. The second thing is that if she never left me, I don't think I would be where I am today. So in a way, I kind of appreciate her for that. The same thing with my stepmom. Wale watoto walipeleka shule akaniacha, mimi ndio nimekuja kuwasaidia some of them. One of them actually ali drop out. Sasa ndio ako high school. The other one alimaliza kwa Mombasa. So I was like, if she never, you know, showed me the door, probably I would not be the person I am today. That's why I pushed, because I knew I didn't have anything else. It was either I make it or make it. So I celebrate them.
I make it or I make it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I celebrate them for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
How old are you?
Well, I'm very old. 26, turning 27.
Ndio wanasema 26 and 27.
Turning 27.
You are so young.
Yeah.
You are so young with like this whole future ahead of you. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah, what's your greatest desire? What's your greatest vision? How does it look like for you? Where do you want to go from here?
Well, I love Kenya so much. So my greatest desire is that one day I will run a movement of people that I call them the barrier breakers. People believe they can do anything. And that's one of the reasons I'm here today. And yeah, I find joy when I'm, you know, driving people to believe in themselves. If you've seen social media, we went to Kiriana, my primary school, where we give 60 full uniforms, spent the whole day with students. And they're like, since the school was started in 1956, it's the first time they're seeing someone coming back and telling them I was here and this happened. Wow. It was like, to me, that's what I want to do. Yeah. So my goal is that no matter how successful I am, I'll always remember that there's someone else needing me to inspire them to get there.
Beautiful. Yeah. Who do you look up to?
So many people. Dr. James Mwangi, you can see his name here. Look at Dr. James Mwangi. I think I have people for every step. Looked at Obama for a very long time.
Why Obama?
Because he did the impossible. You don't just come from a small boy,
and become
the single mom and all those things. And not just become a president, black president in a country where, you know, America has had issues with racism. To me, that is the greatest barrier you can break. Yeah. And then I also look at other people, professional people, you know, every stage of your life, you have someone that you look up to.
You're looking up to.
Yeah.
Oh, na muziki. Bada uende huko ingie studio huko na kina sijui nani, so umeacha muziki nyuma.
Muziki tu.
Ama imekufikia wanasema hakuna pesa huko. There's good money there.
Tumengangana. Muziki. You know, more eventually by the way, took me to studio, paid. I think he said I can do 2 songs.
There are 2 DJ Mo. Which one is this?
It's the wife to Saizait.
Oh, the husband to Saizait?
Sorry, the husband to Saizait.
Diga.
Yeah, actually it's mentioned here also his story and how he built a friendship that, and even in my book launch, you saw the photos, you saw them. He was there.
Aw.
So we tried,
Takes a
but
community.
then and then also, you know, every time I said I want to do music, I get a job at Equity, and then nikisema this is it.
Yeah.
Mara umeenda US, so but in 2020 I actually tried to do a video, one of my songs.
Halafu?
It did well.
Iko
We got,
YouTube?
I think, yeah, I think we
Inaitwa
got
aje
like 40.
wakaona? Nilipata. Ambia watu wimbo inaitwa aje tuende hapo tuone
wimbo.
TBT. I will find out for you guys and I'm putting it on the inaitwa aje? Inaitwa aje?
Wacha kwanza niweke disclaimer.
Peana disclaimer and then utuambie wimbo.
Wimbo niliandika nikiwa form 3, nikiwa CU.
Mbona unajitetea?
Ni kwa sababu hii title ya hii wimbo imeniweka controversies kidogo.
Inaitwa aje?
Inaitwa Niko Single.
Niko single, niko single, niko single, niko single.
Kwani sasa yuko? Wanikurusha kwa controversy ingine. Kwani sasa so anadhani waambie ni art. Art is never that serious. Art is never that serious.
Yeah, so people say I was talking about me because, you know, I refer to me, but I try to tell them. Hata nimequote hapo Bible verse, nikijaribu kuambia, you know, I was the CU treasurer and I'm looking at all these young people. I was like, actually, this song I wrote because of someone else. And they're like, no, his story.
Yes.
Because, you know, the song is about kijana mwenye amekuja, ameenda huko amefanya kila kitu, and then anakumbuka, gosh, there is a God, and I'm sinful, and then he goes back to church, then tells God, nimeachana wasichana wote na niko single. Sasa nimerudi
wenyewe na una shida iko wapi? Werudi tu na God mkaya hapo. Endeni tu mkaya hivyo, sisi wachana na sisi.
Ambia watu ni art.
Yeah, but no, me I'm so proud of you. I want to wind up and tell people about this book because I want them to go and get a copy.
Yes.
You can tell them you've not paid me anything.
Yes, absolutely.
To say this, so I'm going to do it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Because you are so awesome.
Thank you, Lynn.
And I don't think people have even seen what is ahead for you. There's so much. You know, when you start your story, people think it's a joke. Ati alikuwa analala wapi? Ati alikuwa na nini? Mpaka ifika ati alijump class 2. Haija, he was the best. Again, he was the best. Again, he got wings to fly. Again, he went to Michigan. Again, you know, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know,
thank you.
Congratulations. Like for me, you're breaking those barriers.
Amen.
Like you're supposed to.
For the glory of God.
For the glory of God.
Yes.
But I don't know if I let you speak in Kimeru, so this reaches Shosh vizuri. Shosh knows a bit of Swahili.
Yeah, she knows
Swahili. Yeah. So could you look at that camera before I can let you even thank other people? Maybe if you look at that camera and tell Shosh something.
Kimeru.
Yeah, no, in Swahili. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Shosh. Sijui nianzie wapi kwa sababu I feel no matter hata nikifanya aje siwezi kushukuru enough kwa ile mambo umefanya in my life. Always utakuwa my hero na nuisi nkuandete na nitaendelea kukucelebrate kana nikiendelea kusupport in any way. Yes, na Mungu endelea weka saiti uone, you know, ara Mungu atitoto endia. Nkuandete kabisa no korolo. Yes.
That's beautiful. Me I can tell kidogo. Don't worry guys, the captions are on your screen. Yeah, but before I wind up, because I don't want to cut this short, is there anything you wanted to touch on that you would want to, we left out and you want to briefly touch on? And also while at it, I'll talk about the book. I know it's available on Amazon. Where can people find you also on your social platforms?
I think we have talked in details.
You're good.
And first, I want to really thank everyone that has supported me. There's so many people I've not been able to mention on this show, but they're mentioned in this book.
Yeah.
So just thank you for being destiny connectors. And For the book, here in Kenya, we have it circulated by Nuria.
That's my store there.
Yeah.
Nuria, shout out. I get all my books there. They are
Yeah.
awesome people. Those are my people.
Yeah, they're doing well.
They're doing well. Huh?
Yeah.
I like, they are good people.
Yeah, so you can get it in Nuria for those outside the country.
Yeah.
Amazon is the place to go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What would you like to tell yourself?
First, I would like to thank the 7-year-old boy who believed, because I'm stepping on the foundation that he laid. Up to today, I borrow a lot of lessons from him that, make me navigate in life. Just to remind me that no matter where I get, I should always remember where I came from.
Yes.
Someone keeps reminding me that always remember how you get your things, and it's through prayers.
There you
So
go.
I hope I'll never forget that.
Don't forget that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Where can people find you?
Oh, social media, Msaidizi _KE on Instagram, Msaidizi KE on Facebook, LinkedIn, Pius Mithika,
Yeah.
and msiende YouTube, but Msaidizi pia on YouTube.
Oh, you there, you know where to get the song. Msaidizi on YouTube.
Yes.
It's been really, sorry, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, it's been amazing having you on the show.
Thank you.
You've really ignited something in me. I think when you said you want to thank the 7-year-old,
Yeah.
because you walk, on the foundation that I tend to think I forgot about the me. That, when you are in poverty, mi unachukia shida vibaya sana. Hey bro, let me tell you, if there's anything, but there's some motivation that comes with it.
Yeah.
There's some motivation that comes with remembering those days.
Yes.
So you go do you. May you become greater than this.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the best. Go break all those other barriers. May we one day see you in our finance, huku ukijaribu kutuwekea 1+1. Huko tax inawapeleka aje?
Lakini yenu.
No, please, don't open the wounds, but it's okay. Don't open the wounds. We are trying to deal right now, but I just want greatness for you.
Thank
And I'm happy that even such what do you call Wings to Fly? What is the name?
The equity.
Yes. Anyway, initiatives, organizations such as they exist.
Yes.
Because look at you. Man, congratulations. You've done good for yourself.
Thank you.
And you are yet to do a lot of things.
Amen.
Yeah, so
God, I'm ready.
God, I'm ready. Born ready.
Yes.
Go do you. And congratulations on your book. I'm still scared of writing mine. I have someone who keeps pushing me, but I'm like, hey, you guys, it's not easy. But anyways, I want to talk to my people about it. That's the copy that's showing on your screen, The Boy Who Believed. I did not want to talk about this book before I knew the story. And for now, I can just advocate and tell you, just go get a copy. Inajua ameniletea. So, na since ametoka US, Mr. Kwano, let me buy. Okay, we already paying with tax. So this one I'm taking. So thank you. And I want to wind up with a comment by Dr. James Mwangi. That's the CEO of Equity Group. And he says, Msaidizi is truly the epitome of the dreams we have for the youth of Africa. Against all odds, he's carved out a successful path and left footprints that those behind him can follow, keeping an eye on his growth from success to significance.
Oh.
What else can I add? What else can I add? Congratulations. It's been really nice having you on the show. And thank you so much for making time to be here. I truly appreciate it. And thank you to my Kagal, Gala, for putting this together. Hey, Gala is about to shock you. She's about to shock you guys with really amazing news. So you all should start subscribing to her YouTube channel soon. Thank you. I don't take it for granted. And also, ukienda huko tukumbuke, keep talking to our boys as well, our young men.
Yes.
I can't imagine what has been your healing process. Let me just ask that. Have you done therapy? Who do you talk to? Or maybe before I wind up, what has been your healing process like?
I think I found healing in talking about it. Because if you've realized, in most places I'm even laughing, except the place where I talked about the way my father was buried.
Yes.
Because up to today, I think that breaks me. Yeah. So it's just talking about it.
Yes.
And the more I talk about it, the more I realize, actually, then that's why I've ended up realizing that it was meant to be that way.
the
So
way it is.
yeah, and that has made it almost everything.
Okay.
Yeah, disappear.
Sindio?
Yeah.
You know guys, in the pain there is healing. Yani hakuna kitu life God haizi tusaidia kufix. So for everyone that has watched, I want to know what your take home is. This has been a very beautiful conversation, even for me as an individual, and not just to encourage you to go and get the book, but to encourage you to go after what you believe in. And I'm reminded of instances where money is the determining factor, because man, there's nothing we haven't done because money was not available, because finances were not available, and we've caved and we have decided to settle. But remember, you are not too old. You can still go back to your dream and do the things that set your soul on fire. So let me know in the comment section what has been your take home, and also to thank our beautiful sponsors at Lemonade Finance for coming through. Unatumianga app gani kututumia pesa huku home? Acha usichome.
Sita mention competitor.
Go try Lemonade Finance and let me know what you think about them. Yeah, it's a mobile money sending app that allows you to send money to your loved ones here. If you're in UK and Canada, you can do that. They have the best rates, and also there is 0 rates while sending. So hakuna utatolewa 10 bob ukituma, and your people here back at home are able to receive that within 3 to 5 minutes, and you can send to their M-Pesa or bank account. Yeah, use my code LEAN so that you're able to get 10% cash back on your first 100 pounds or even Canadian dollars. And don't forget to download their app. They are now lengthy. On the comment section, you will find the link to their app. So let me know what you guys also think about them. And also to thank the people who put these episodes together. I do not take you guys for granted. And of course, if you want to share your story with me, info@lnn.digital or lin.ngugi@lnn.digital. That's where you can find me. Na nisiposema hii nitafukuzwa kazi. Guys, we have a new Telegram group channel that you're supposed to go and just join if you are in a position to. Uko tuko na story. So we are in broadening. Tumeambiwa hapa from what? Success to significance. Acha tupeleke significance yetu Telegram. So guys, join us on our Telegram channel, and don't forget guys, we are forever grateful for your work. Elegance, for coming through with this outfit. I appreciate you. Go check this book. Nuria, those are my people. Wako hapo Tao. Sijui kama wako na branch ingine, naendanga yenye iko Tao. And you can also get this copy at Amazon. The Boy Who Believed, Breaking the Barriers of Impossibilities. Msaidizi. So utanisaidia aje? Guys, we are out. See you next time.